A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir raheem. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa salatu wa salam ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadan Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Rasul Kareem Habibul Azim unzur halana wa ishfalana wa abiduna bi madadakum wa nazarakum. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultanil Awliya ma Shaykh Abdul Faiz Daghestani. Madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultanil Awliya ma Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Haqqani. مدد سلطان قلوبنا مولانا الشيخ هشام كباني مدد الحق حجة الله المخلص. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أطيعوا الله أطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. And that reminder was for myself. أنا عبدك العجيز ضعيف مسكين ظالم جهل. And by the grace of Allah we are still in existence. That we took a path in which to be nothing. And we have to confirm that nothingness at all times, that to be nothing, and the rahmah that Allah granted to the love of Sayyidina Muhammad that from Ismullah Alif Lam Lam Hey, that in the name of Allah that Hay is for hidayat and guidance, that wherever you look will be the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. There is nowhere that you can look and the reality of Prophet is not there. Means then you would have passed Prophet and you would be seeing directly to Allah, which impossible. Everything is in the ocean of Muhammadun Rasulullah. Nobody reached to Qawba Qawsaini aw adna. Nobody comes between La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. This is the two bow lengths or nearer. Not an angel comes there, not a prophet, not a creature, not a creation, nothing comes into that vicinity and proximity that Allah granted to the majesty and majestic beauty of Sayyidina Muhammad. Means that in the Ismullah in which Allah wants to be known but is always a hidden treasure. So you cannot say, now I know the name Allah and I know Allah, it's impossible. In this way of marifah, Allah gives us merely a direction. In this name of Allah which Allah has infinite names, this name Allah all encompassing for all the attributes and essences. And awliyaullah when Allah want to grant them a marifah that come, approach from a distance, you see one thing, and they said many times before the example is from a distance you look at the mountain. The mountain looks dark, it's like a black mountain but there's no black mountain. It has one appearance at a distance, but marifah means you are moving now towards its proximity. As you move towards, and this is creation, imagine the malakut and the heavens. Anything you move towards it expands. What was little mountain from a distance, you drive, here we see the mountain all the way near Seattle, that the Cascade Mountains. You drive, this mountain becomes huge because of your proximity to that reality has infinitely expanded. When Allah want to bring the lovers of Sayyidina Muhammad He begin to give them the understanding of what Allah loves. Never to understand Allah, there's no contemplation on Allah. There's contemplation on Allah's creation. The best of creation Sayyidina Muhammad. So marifah means that when Allah draws the servant near, He begins to show them and teach them from what Allah loves and Allah's love upon the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. So as soon as they begin to approach the name of Allah, the might and magnificence, Allah begin to show that you're not approaching my alif, you are only approaching the hay. So that alif, lam, lam, and I don't know how you make hay. The alif is always a hidden treasure. Izzatullah, the might of Allah. You can't approach the might, you approach the hay. And Allah begin to teach that this hay has a wow hidden inside of it. And this hadi and hidayat, oh my guidance to me, first introduce yourself to my guide. Come to Muhammadan Rasulullah. And when we look at the hay in all the ways that they write the hay, one way is like a heart, one way is like this, and another way we've said before it's the cave with a wow. And even the hay they put a wow above it, but it even has a wow within it. That hidayat and the guide of Allah is a reflection of who? Because hey, wow, who? That reflection of who is Allah's guide. And all these realities and all these dresses are dressing us to reach to that understanding. That come into that ocean, come into that guidance, use all your senses, come to Allah's guide and going to take us into that lam. The first lam is the lisan, the tongue of what makes the mulk. Two lams, mulk and malakut. The first lam closest to us is the lam of the mulk, that all the creation that manifesting through this reality, through this lisan, has to do with the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. That it's manifesting through a tongue. That when Allah wants the creation to manifest, it merely speaks the will of Allah and that creation manifests by the tongue of Sayyidina Muhammad. Everything by izzatullah, everything by Allah's will, and that will begins to manifest upon the tongue of Prophet. This mulk and this tongue of mulk has to do with the dunya. So means this reality that Allah dressing upon this lisan, this is the Sultan of dunya, is going to be introducing us to the next lam, which is the Sultan of akhirah. So this Sultan of dunya, Muhammadun Rasulullah was described by the hay, he's my hadi, antal hadi, antal haq. The hidayat of Allah is the only way towards this reality. All the Prophets wanted that. They said, I won't stop until I meet the two rivers. Means whatever they were given, they understood the highest reality is to be with Muhammadun Rasulullah. So then that first lisan closest to us is the Sultan of all the mulk. Means what Allah gave of a majesty and authority to Prophet for all the created worlds. Anything created is under Muhammadun Rasulullah, everything manifesting. And that's why in this month, the 13th surah, Sakhara lakum ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Ha Asad? Sakhara lakum ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Allah said, I have given everything. Jama'ana. And anything between them I have given as a gift, I have given minhu from Allah, whatever is in the heaven, whatever is on earth and whatever is in between, means you can leave nothing out. That Allah, because Qur'an is all with keys. One ayah, if you open that ayah, it opens all the realities of many other ayahs. So in this month, the 45th surah, 13th verse, Allah saying, I've given everything to Prophet from anything you can think of. And Allah clarifies, how do you pronounce jama'ana? Jama'ana, whatever in between them, anything. So think of the angels, I've given them the authority under Prophet. The jinn, the malaika, budala, nujaba, nuqab, awtad wal akhyar. Think of the heavens, the paradises, the Bayt al-Mahmud, the Kaaba, anything you can think of, Allah is saying, I've given this as an authority under the authority of Sayyidina Muhammad. Nothing left out, all under the authority of Prophet. Means everything in the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad. So the hadi and the guide to izzatullah, to the alif of Allah describes that this Qur'an that came to earth for you is going to describe what I have bestowed upon my sultan so that you understand his authority. Jaooka, and immediately move to the presence of Prophet only in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad can you ask my forgiveness. And then once you ask my forgiveness, ask the forgiveness of Sayyidina Muhammad. This journey will begin to give an understanding to us. Everybody else thinks they're approaching Allah and they're teaching, they are going to the door of the alif and they keep pounding on a wall, a big wall. Oh Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah. Everything for them, they're going directly to Allah. They forgot the Rasulallah. They're as if they're pounding on the door of the alif and they're asking for their forgiveness. They're asking for whatever they're asking for. They're asking for their rizq, they're asking for guidance, they're asking for everything. And awliyaullah come into our life and teach, that's a long way. That's a very difficult way. Allah granted, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, I would not have sent it except that it is a mercy to all creation. Come to my hadi, come to my guide, come to the one whom I granted hidayat and guidance, that if you reach to him love him, begin to praise upon him, love him more than you love yourself, immediately you're flowing into that lamp. That this dunya will be filled with the light of Prophet upon you. So now they're moving up. As they begin to teach that the Mawlid al-Nabi is most significant event in our creation. It's the arrival of Holy Qur'an, it's the arrival of Allah's ancient religion of Islam, it's the birth of me and you. We would not be in existence if the reality of Muhammadun Rasulullah was not brought into existence. Where are you born then? Where you came from? Everything was because Muhammadun Rasulullah all creation in that reality. Allah said, because of that reality you're in existence. So it means every significance of that lamb begins to open. The ashiqeen, the love for Prophet overwhelm, and then they begin to take us to the lamb of the malakut. That come with us on this journey, because this hidayat and these guides, they've been dressed from that hay. They are from the people of the who. The who dresses upon them, blesses upon them, and Allah make them to be hadi, that they are the guides of the nation. Those guides, they bring you to the sultan of all this creation. Don't work with anyone else, don't worry about anyone else. Keep your focus upon the sultan where Allah sakhar lakum ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard, that we have given everything to this sultan. Don't bother yourself with anything else. So the love and the focus is very clear. Then Prophet clarifies, this is the maqam al-iman. Love me more than you love yourself, your mother, your father, your brother and your children. When that love is sincere, begins to open the lamb closest to Allah. This is the tongue that brings all malakut into existence. All the world that not manifesting of the angels of the heavens and all its paradises. Subhanalladhi biyadihi malakut kulli shay. This is Surah Yasin, is now Allah going to describe this sultan of my heavens. My glory be upon his hands, and that his hands kulli shay, everything of the malakut and authority, his malakut is all power over everything. That what Allah glory be to this hand, that what I gave of it of authority, he's the sultan of malakut, and this malakut later you'll understand kulli shay is the power for everything. And nobody knows except the people of tafakkur. They don't understand. If they took a little bit of a science class and you understood that this world of form, it's manifesting from atoms and molecules. When Allah kulli shay says the sultan of all these atoms and all these molecules, that sultan Sayyidina Muhammad means his power is all, kulli shay, it's power over everything. So the one who reached to malakut and to the world of light, their authority is already over everything from the world of form. Where people are trying to go from the world of form and pound on the door, and they're teaching us, no, come to this love, come to this way, we're going to take you to the sultan of this dunya. When that love is sincere and that love is right, we're going to take you to the sultan of akhirah. Where Prophet described, I was a Rasul before the Adam was between his clay and water. The ancient position of Rasulullah is in the malakut, in the world of light. To reach to that world of light, to reach to that authority, that is the reality of Jaooka. That awliyaullah, their only interest is, why are you pounding at the door and going that way? Come with us in an instant into the presence of the sultan. Into the presence of the sultan, make your forgiveness. All these nasheeds, all these salawats are asking and begging for Allah's forgiveness in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. As soon as you enter their associations, these mahfils and recitations, their souls and everybody who's coming immediately into that presence, immediately into the presence of the malakut. Wa Allah kulli shay, He has all authority we've given everything, we've given every authority. It's all encompassing, many different ayahs of Qur'an describing this authority. If Prophet from malakut grants the forgiveness, because at that presence Prophet is asking Allah, in this world of light they've come to my presence with their arwah and their souls, they're asking Allah for forgiveness in the presence of Prophet and then asking Prophet's forgiveness. Inna huwa tawwabur rahim, inna huwa tawwabur rahim. We describe who the huwa was. They're coming into the presence of this Divinely Presence. The who that can never be seen is reflecting to the who of Sayyidina Muhammad, which can be seen through your soul. That is the presence of Sifat ar-Rahim, wa Allah if in the malakut which is under Rahim, mulk is under Rahman, if you are granted a forgiveness in Rahim, that forgiveness dresses you wherever you go. As much as this mulk tries to make you dirty by sins, Allah's raining upon you a rain from the Presence that continuously washing you. This was in the next month in the Qamar, when they would cry out to their Lord, I'm overtaken, shaitan has overtaken me. فَتَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ وَمَيًّا مُنْحَمِرًا. That Allah, don't worry, when we're reciting the Burda, my muntaqim, that when you're with malakut and you're with Sayyidina Muhammad in malakut and Prophet accepted your arwah, accepted you to be in that presence. Allah inna huwa tawwabur rahim, that from His sifat of Rahim He's granting anyone in that presence their forgiveness, their maghfirah. That wherever you walk onto this dunya you'll be washed from this forgiveness. That muntaqim, that when Allah grant you that means that the sifat al-muntaqim will avenge you at every moment that shaitan is trying to make you dirty. Allah will send His muntaqim and avenge you, mean He beat them. He beat them with a fire, that you're dirtying the wrong person, that the love of Allah upon them, the love of Sayyidina Muhammad upon them. That's why in the Burda they were reciting that Allah opened that muntaqim, Allah opened the sifat to protect them, to wash them. So what we need is the forgiveness from malakut. These people are trying to go through the mulk, pounding on the door, pounding on the door, pounding on the door. They didn't reach to the hidayat, they didn't reach to the hadi of Allah. They're not going through the station and the channels in which Allah wanted, and you can spend 1,000 years at that wall and see what happens. But with awliyaullah and those whom love awliyaullah and those whom are in the association whom love awliyaullah, immediately they're taking us through the hay, through the lamb, to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. And with all the authority that Allah dressed upon that reality, that forgiveness and the oceans of forgiveness dressing their souls. And wherever they go, that light and that blessing dressing them, blessing them. And that's the hadith that Prophet described, that Allah described, your nation it never gets tired of sinning and I'm never tired of forgiving them. Is a description of those people, is a description of that diwan, that they're in your diwan, they're your ahbab, they're your lovers. No doubt I will wash them and cleanse them and forgive them no matter how dirty they become. And that's why we said also within the Burda, maybe I will get as much intercession as the amount of my sins. In the Burda, that perchance Prophet will grant me intercession big enough for the amount of my sins. Means if I come with lots of sins I should get a lot of attention from Prophet for his intercession. If not for that reality, there would be no awliya. There will be no pious people. وَحَمَّلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُم. When Allah described these souls of awliyaullah, they carry the burdens of people. وَحَمَّلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُم. We have put the burdens upon them. If they're not going to be granted a forgiveness by Allah, they would never take it. They busied their lives to make themselves clean, they would have isolated and hidden themselves. But Allah said, no, go back into these territories of shayateen, heavily influenced by shaitan. Wherever you go and whoever is upon you and near you and jumps onto your boat with all their filthiness of what they do, I'm washing you and cleansing you. And that's why they come, they say at every moment they're in the presence of Prophet, my load is heavy, the sins are influencing my entire being. By the amount of what they carry, they're granted that amount of intercession from Prophet, like an ocean, like a waterfall, not like rain upon regular people. When they come loaded with burdens and sins from people, Prophet opened for them like a fountain of Niagara upon their soul. It's not something small, we think very small. Again, look to the size of the sun. Imagine you're a particle and you're floating into the presence of the sun. This majestic sun with all its might burns everything that is approaching it, means all the sins that coming with you burn away, and what left is a light, and light in front of light has no burning. That the light of Prophet will burn everything away. This sun is the smallest of suns. So imagine this sun is the size of Sahabi. It's not even that, because there are suns that are 10,000 times this star. 10,000 times. Imagine the size and the greatness of a Sahabi. Did you know Prophet described, my companions are stars. He wasn't playing. He said, my companions they are najm, they are stars in the heaven. So go take your science class and look at a star. The earth is a dot in the presence of this sun. That Allah wants us to see that you're nothing compared to the Sahaba of Prophet. And this sun is a dot compared to the bigger sun. And in the middle of all them, billions of times larger than our sun, a najm thaqib. There's a sun that it pierces the entire created universe. They call pistol star najm thaqib. Means all these realities unimaginable. What Prophet can dress, unimaginable. We pray that Allah grant us more and more light, more and more love, more and more patience, and that He dress us from these oceans of forgiveness and prepare us for the 5th, we're in the 5th month, the 6th month, then Rajab, Shaban, Ramadan. InshaAllah Allah give us life to see those nights and those days inshaAllah. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa basir Surat al-Fatiha.
سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي سيدنا النبي